following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 10th episode of the Big Yak Podcast. 10 episodes.
Does that
already.
Make it 10?
This is 10
We're
episodes.
At number 10. All right.
This is 10 episodes. Time flies, man. Time flies when you're
double
having fun.
digits.
Double digits now. I'm excited. I'm excited for the road we're going on. For this episode, we have our boy from across the country, Mr. Navy Man himself, Jackson Krebs. How are you?
Good. How are you, man? It's good to see you guys. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad y'all had me on for this.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, tell us. Tell us about yourself. I said ourselves. Yourself, Jackson. You know, like, we graduated with you in high school, 2017. You know, we back-to-back weeks with 2017 alumni.
Yes, sir.
We had our boy Dexter on last week. But yeah, tell us about yourself. How's the Navy going? How's living out in San Diego?
So I'm Jackson. Most of y'all know me, or you know of my family. Just if you went to the Niagara Falls School District, you know my family and in and outs of that. I've known Nico since like freshman year. We go way back with
9th grade media,
chilling in the media studio and stuff like that. I've started to get to know Mike my junior year, and then we played lacrosse together our senior year, and we were terrible.
Oh,
it was a good time.
We didn't win a game, right?
We won 0 games. Which is mostly just like us. It was like me, you, Malik, Dexter. I think the only good person on our team was like Hunter and Tim and like those kids.
Yeah, because they actually like cared.
Yeah, we just went to go hit people and just talk trash to people.
Dude, I was literally meat wagon for a reason.
Yeah.
Like I was out there playing defense. You know, I'm big meat wagon Mike at this point in my life. So
still big boat.
I'm still big boat. You know, and
he's not jet ski. He's big boat.
I'm the jet ski now, but big boat. You know, that was back then.
You're still in my phone as the meat wagon too.
Let's go. But yeah, dude, literally we would. Like, because that was the year I didn't want to play track. I was done with track, and I was like, you know what? I want to play something else. Not going to play baseball. Not that good at baseball. And my options were, like, lacrosse.
You could have been like me and played tennis.
I was thinking about tennis, too, but I was like, you know what? Like, I want some physical contact.
Fair.
So I was
there is negative physical contact in tennis.
Exactly. So they were, like, hitting me up. They're like, yo, Mike, we're all playing lacrosse. Like, you should totally come out. So I got me and Santino Caffarella. We both came out.
He did
so Santino lasted 3 days. Santino lasted 3 days. He was just like, you know what, bro, like I just can't do it, man. I just can't do it. Like it's not for me. And I was just like, all right. So I stuck with it, and I just remember going out there and just whacking people with the stick. Like
I did picture. I went to a few of your guys' games because senior year of high school, I was doing pictures for if you go back to the class of 2017 yearbook, you're going to see half those pictures in there were probably pictures that I took. Not to flex or anything.
It's a flex.
It's a
flex.
So I forget which game I went to, but I was with the team, and I think we all like went to Tim Hortons or something beforehand, and just everyone rated. Meat wagon rated. Santino rated. I mean, it was a lot for me to take in. I'm looking, and we were rolling like 20 deep into this Tim Hortons.
We were talking about it last week. That's what happened with football too. Just raiding that Tim Hortons on Hyde Park.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I remember you guys playing a deaf team. Was like a deaf team in your league or something like that?
It was called GAL.
They were like. The schools weren't real, like they weren't like Ken West or something. You were wearing like, what you're playing like schools that nobody had ever heard of or something.
Let me tell you something about that deaf team. They are good. They were good. They destroyed us. I remember specifically myself. I said, "There's no way this team's gonna beat us," and we lost like
a lot,
12 to maybe 1.
Dude, I remember
they destroyed us.
I remember this one guy, one tall guy. He's like, he's cradling, dude. He comes into my lane, so I'm like, yo, I'm about to lay the boom on this kid. This kid's, he's a little bit, like, taller. I'm about to lay the boom on this kid. I'm about to knock this kid into next week, this deaf kid. I'm about to knock this deaf kid into next week. And then, so literally, I go to lay my shoulder into him. I don't know what happened, but that kid ran me the hell over. Just like, I was on my butt.
Yeah, he hit you with the hit stick.
I remember there was one game. It was like the second time we played Newfane, and Newfane was like top tier in like the club.
They had that one kid.
They were amazing. They would beat everybody like 20-0, 20-1, 20-2, stuff like that. They were putting up 20 goals almost every game.
Yeah.
I remember it was literally just me against the entire Newfane team on Twitter. I raised so much hell on Twitter
It's
day.
like that GIF. I think it was Jon Snow against all the White Walkers when he pulls out the sword.
That was it. That was me. And then I don't remember the kid's name, but he was like the best kid on the team. I was talking the most stuff to him because like my thing is I just like talking stuff. I just like talking to people and just trying to mess with them. I have never been hit so hard in my life. I didn't have the ball. I was trying to make a hit on him. I remember running up to him and he just literally just dropped his shoulder down like this. And I went flying because, like, at the time, like, I'm still like, I'm a small
basic training. This is before.
I'm a small dude, no matter what. But like back in high school, I was like 100 pounds soaking wet. This dude was like 6 foot, maybe 180, maybe 190.
Yeah.
Ran through me like I was a piece of paper.
Yeah. The thing about lacrosse pads is like they're so thin. Like the shoulder pads and that chest piece, dude, it is nothing compared to football. With football, you get the benefit of the doubt because of how like heavy the equipment is and how hard it is. But like, dude, that lacrosse equipment, there's barely any protection. So you're basically just putting your actual like shoulder into like somebody, like your bone.
And let you get hit like right here, or like on the wrist or on the knee with a stick. Oh my god, it was awful. God. It's such a violent sport.
It's a violent sport, but it was fun though. I was there for the violence.
I had a good time.
I had, you know what? I was just out there for fun.
Yeah.
But like Hunter and like those people, they took it seriously, and then they would start like freaking out on us. I'm sitting here, I'm like, bro, I don't care.
Bro, we're 0-7.
We're 0-7, dude. Like the season's over.
It's 18-0.
It's 18-0. Dude.
I'm about to go play goalie in a second.
Yeah. Hunter's trying to give us like an inspirational speech, like over here, trying to pep talk us, like.
All love the Hunter. All love the Hunter though.
All love the Hunter. But yeah, he was just, oh my god, like. And he's looking at me, and I'm like, he's looking at me for answers, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, you're looking at the wrong person, man. I'm just here for the vibes.
Hey, man, I'm just saying. First game I ever played in, I'm playing Riverside. I scored a goal.
I remember that.
I took one shot that entire year, and I scored. I'm 1 for 1, dude. I'm batting 1,000. So
yeah. I took one shot. My year. You want to know what happened? I go to take the shot. Throwing motion was there. The ball didn't go forward. The ball went backwards. So
it's like in Wii when everyone goes like, whoa!
Yeah, you're in bowling and you go roll it and it just like.
That was a fun little spring. That was a good way to end off the senior year. That was a good time.
Yeah. So talk about like your experiences overseas. You've been basically right out of high school. You went to the Navy. Talk about. You've been out of the loop with like a couple, like with a lot of.
Yeah, the thing that blew my mind was. We were talking about this pre-show that you didn't have any information when you were out at sea. So
no, it's really hard to get.
Like the one thing you said was like the Von Miller signing. The Von Miller signing was 3 weeks later that you actually finally heard the news that the Bills signed him.
Yep.
So talk about that and like what was your biggest culture shock when you heard information that finally came back to you like weeks in advance?
So I've been on 2 deployments. The biggest thing I can remember just off the top of my head for the most recent one, which I just got back a couple weeks ago, was the whole Von Miller thing. Like, I remember we pulled into the Philippines in March, I want to say, like the end of March. And like he got signed, I think like one of the first few days of like the season, like once free agency can start, that's when the Bills signed him. We pulled in like the last day of March, and that's when I found out. Because Twitter, they blocked Twitter for us. They blocked Facebook. Like we were like on a really like low, like no social media type of thing. And so we pulled in. My phone connected, and I had like 3 texts from my brother Zach, and he's like, "Dude, we got Von Miller. Did you see we got Von Miller?" I was like, "Wait, what? Like, what are you talking about?" So yeah, like, and then I was telling you guys pre-show, like my first deployment back in 2020, I missed out on the whole TikTok thing. Like when TikTok got really big, like I had no idea what that was. I came back, and my little brother showed me videos of like, is this Vine?
This is Vine.
Did Vine
Make it
come
come
back?
back?
What's going on? He's like, no, it's TikTok. And I was like, what? Okay, all right, whatever. But yeah, like, there's a lot of nitpicky stuff. The one thing, there's another thing we talked about pre-show was, the only thing I got one of the big culture shocks for like social media and stuff like that, I got to see it live was the Chris Rock slap.
Yeah.
Because this is at the same time we pulled in the Philippines. That was crazy to watch. That was really funny. And then everyone on the boat was talking about that for like.
That was like a textbook pop culture event.
Yeah. I remember everyone. We talked about that on the boat for probably 2 months.
Yeah,
every day.
It's been like the biggest thing like this whole year. That was
I still hear references about it.
Oh yeah.
I just saw something on Twitter about it earlier, like when I was sitting in the parking lot.
It's something that will never die.
And just like the picture, like the frame of him like smacking. I mean, now it's immortalized. Yeah.
Yeah. But tell us, what is probably the, talk about like you said you went to Hawaii before. We talked about that yesterday. Just talk about like some of the places that you've like traveled to, like some of the fun moments of your deployments. I don't know how much fun it is. What?
It's not fun, but like you and everyone else around you, you're just making the best out of a terrible situation. Like you're just stuck in the middle of the ocean for months on end, so you just got to make the best of it.
Yeah.
But you do have fun times. Like my first deployment, we went to this little island off the coast of Spain called Palma de Mallorca. Mm-hmm. Gorgeous. It's like your textbook. What I picture like a city in Europe would be is that like you got the long winding streets, the buildings really close together, the outside cafes, stuff like that. It was awesome. Palma was really cool. There was this one place we went to 3 times called Dukumaman. That place is terrible.
Oh.
That place is awful. So there's nothing there. It's literally just a port. So on the ground is just a slab of concrete. They pitch some tents, and they send over beer. Like the government sends over beer. Like shit pays for it, and then you just sit on the pier, listen to music, and just get absolutely trashed.
Oh, okay.
This is in Spain?
No, this is a place. I'm sorry, it's called Dukumaman.
Okay.
It's in the Middle East.
Okay, got it.
It's like one of the places you stop to like just get some R&R for like a couple days.
I mean, it's got to be hot too.
Oh my god, it's like 110 degrees.
Damn.
Do you ever like get like stir crazy? Like, I'm trying to think. Like, if I stayed home, like you kind of experienced this during the lockdown, where it's like we didn't have like anywhere to go or do anything. Mm-hmm. So like, how often does that come up? Like, how do you ever get that feeling, or did that feeling happen and then go away, or?
It's kind of like because like the ship goes underway all the time. Like even if we're not in deployment, like we'll go underway for like 2 weeks on end, come back, go out for another 2 weeks, come back. It's just about getting into a routine. So like my routine was I'd wake up at 4 in the morning. I'd go to the gym.
Hell.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Oh, boy.
I wake up at 4. I go to the gym. I get breakfast. I go to work. I'd eat, work some more, and then at 7, because our shifts were 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. when we're out to sea. As soon as I get off work, I shower and I go to sleep. I try to keep myself as occupied as I can.
Yeah.
Because once you lose that time occupied stuff, that's when time starts to drag. You start thinking about things, and then things start going downhill. As long as you keep yourself in like a routine, the days just click and they just go.
That's good life advice.
Yeah.
I'm spitting some knowledge over on the Big Yak podcast.
I mean, that's like there's like a 3 months of this last deployment out of the 7. I got into my routine. I literally went into just autopilot. Like, I just did my stuff, and I did it every day, day in and day out, for 3 months straight, and the next thing I know, it's like, it's July. Weird.
You go to sleep in March, and then you wake up on...
It's wild.
It's July.
It's wild.
Yeah. Let's get into our show. Let's get into our show. The 2-minute drill. So, as we said earlier, Jackson's, he's been
on a boat.
He's been on
in the middle of the ocean for the last... however long.
Yeah, so with like other guests, we put them through the ringer with this 2-minute drill. So this one's gonna be.
We're talking about training camp. We're talking about like the Falcons training camp.
Yeah.
And, like...
yeah, we don't want to terrorize you too bad. Mm-hmm. So this 2-minute drill is gonna be devoted to, because we're all Bills fans. This is also gonna be a Bills oriented episode because we're all Bills fans, obviously. Mm-hmm. But we're gonna have some fun with this a little bit. It's not just gonna be football heavy, but yeah. Let's do this thing.
I got the timer. Okay. 2 minutes. All right, Mike, lead it off in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, tight end O.J. Howard has been cut by the Buffalo Bills. Mm-hmm. Dawson Knox, the Bills' starting tight end, Over or under 6 touchdown catches?
Over. Give me the over.
Over. And O.J. Howard is also about to be signed by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, that was quick. That was less than 24 hours.
Look at me. He's a starter. If like most teams, he's going to start. Mm-hmm. He's a good tight end. I don't know why we didn't keep him. There must have been something that happened. Like, from what it looked like when I saw him on the field, like for the little bit of preseason I watched, it looked like he really didn't care. If I'm being honest, like it looks like he just didn't care.
Effort just wasn't there.
Yeah, it just wasn't an effort.
Yeah.
Eagles trade Jalen Reagor to the Minnesota Vikings. Does he score a touchdown this year?
1 touchdown?
The over-under has been set at 0.5.
Are you serious? I don't know, dude. You know what? I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to take it over. He'll get maybe 2.
Fair.
All right, Bills cut punters, Matt Hawk and Matt Ariza. Who should be Buffalo's punter this year? Any free agent consideration?
Me, personally, I like Brett Kern, hometown guy. He's actually an established good punter. Like, he's not bad. Like, he's really good. I like Brett Kern. I don't know. Who's that one dude on Twitter that was cut from the Packers in, like, 2016?
Oh, that's Jake
Shum.
Shum.
I want him to shut up.
Shut up.
I want him to be quiet. I'm so sick of seeing this. He hasn't been in the league since 2016. There's got to be a reason. You know?
Yeah.
There's got to be.
Yeah.
49ers are not trading Jimmy G. They instead they reconstructed his contract. Who will finish with more starts, Jimmy G or Trey Lance?
Trey Lance.
Okay. Fair enough. Does San Diego need a football team again?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Saying yes, please. Who is the best armed forces football team?
Navy, Army, Air Force.
History will say it's like the Army or the Air Force. I mean, I like watching the Army-Navy game just so I could talk mess to my friends that are in the Army and stuff like that. But, yeah, we'll say Navy.
I got my money on Coast Guard, sorry.
Coast Guard.
I'm gonna rip off one last question because this question, this is a very serious question. Okay. I'm gonna do my best Joe Rogan impersonation.
Okay.
Jackson Krebs, are aliens real?
He's definitely got some confidential information. You could tell as soon as you said that.
I don't know government secrets or anything like that now. I'm just the E4. I'm very low on the totem pole.
Yeah, I mean, you work, you're in the Navy, so sometimes they know things like that.
Nah,
so
they don't tell me nothing like that.
Dang. All right. Well,
I'm gonna say yes though. I'll say yes.
I figured I'd give it a shot.
Yeah, it's worth a shot. You never know. Never know who you're actually talking to.
We're breaking world news on the podcast.
All right, so let's go into our next segment of the podcast. Let's go to our fantasy segment.
This episode is going to be pretty fantasy centric. I know we've been in leagues for however many years together, all three of us.
Yeah.
Now, before we even get into it, I just have a question. I'm going off script a little bit.
What's up?
During your deployment,
okay,
how the hell did you draft? How the hell did you? Because you're in the middle of the ocean. Mm-hmm. And you had like no information whatsoever.
Oh no, I was home.
So all your drafts are you? So I think we've done now like 4 drafts since you've been away. Have you been like on deployment for any of these drafts?
No, actually.
Okay.
So it's usually like because Dex, the league that I just recently drafted in Dexter's league, he asked me specifically when I was going to be back so we could work around it. But usually like the drafts kind of work around like our underway schedules. If it's like conflicting, I'll just like text the commissioner like, "Hey, dude, like," because most of the leagues I'm in, they're all in the Navy, so they understand. They're like, "Yeah, right. we can move to when you get back. Like, it's no big deal." But yeah, we try to work around those things. Because yeah, if our draft was in the middle of the ocean, I'd be screwed.
I was kind of sitting there. I was thinking about that when I was driving over here today. I'm like, how the hell did he draft? Like,
yeah, I wondered that same question, but yeah, I mean, I was gonna say auto draft, but if you're there to pick it, I mean, But,
anyway, that was a one-off. But
You're good.
Yeah. So let's talk about you guys are in Dexter's league together, right?
Yeah.
So
that league's it's a league of its own.
That league is insane. I forgot like Dexter has like a certain way his league is set up until I watched the episode that he was on. Mm-hmm. And I watched it like the week before the draft, and I was like, oh yeah, like it's like 2 quarterbacks playing at the same time, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, a super flex, and kicker and defense, but defense has like crazy point bonuses, and so does quarterback. Like everything, it's insane.
Everyone was flaming me for drafting the Bills in the 9th round.
Yeah, I was like,
Nico,
Nico's coming up hot.
Defenses are averaging 20 points a game in that league.
Yeah,
exactly. You wanted to talk about your team. Let's talk about your team.
Yeah, let's go for it. I mean, I'm actually playing Nico first game of the season. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. The Terminators. Here we are.
All right, let's break it down.
Here's the matchup. So, my team.
Okay.
I'm leading off with Patrick Mahomes. We're coming in hot. And Joe Burrow. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. I went round 1, round 2.
Starting with heat.
QBs. So, Mahomes, Burrow. I got Swift and Barkley as my running backs.
Okay.
DJ Moore and Marquise Brown as my receivers.
Okay.
George Kittle as my tight end. Juju and Ayuk as my flex. And Matt Gay and New Orleans defense for my special teams and kickers.
Okay.
All right.
Mr. Krebs, what do you got?
So I'm cooking with Kyler Murray and Tom Brady as my quarterbacks.
Okay.
Cordero Patterson, Clyde Edwards-Helaire for running back. Devontae Adams and Deebo Samuel for wide receiver. My boy Dawson Knox for tight end.
Okay.
Jalen Waddle for flex. Chris Godwin for another flex. Harrison Butker, kicker, and defense is 49ers. I mean, I don't think I had too bad of a draft. Like, for context, I was in the middle of, like, a crowd at a concert when I was drafting this. Like, I stopped doing what I was doing, and I was drafting.
Is everybody having a fun time tonight? Jackson's like,
I was literally in the middle of the crowd. Like,
CEH.
like, yep, we're good. Yeah. Let's lock in real quick.
Yeah, I mean, 49ers defense, since it's a defense plus, right?
It's defensive bonuses.
You guys have 2 of the top defenses, top 10 defenses. So, I mean, you guys are good there. I mean, yeah, they both sound like Nico. I mean, having Mahomes and Burrow, though, is
That's insane.
That's insane because they're 2 of the two of the more younger quarterbacks and 2 of the most. They're probably 2 of the most electric quarterbacks. Not naming Josh Allen because Josh Allen obviously
the best, the most electric.
Yeah, but Mahomes and Burrow are they're all in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think Juju Smith-Schuster for you. I think him or no, who has Juju? It's you. Juju, I think he's gonna have a very interesting year. I think he'll definitely be better with Kansas City than he was.
I've tried to
Pittsburgh.
draft Juju in every single one of my leagues.
He's gonna be the wide receiver number 1, man.
He's going to be a PPR machine.
Yeah.
I guess he's getting good rapport with Patrick Mahomes in training camp. He's looking good in workouts. I mean, he's set up to be pretty much averaging the same points per game as Tyreek Hill was in Kansas City.
Right.
I will take that claim to the bank where he's going to be a top 15 wide receiver. I'll just say it right now.
Well, I just feel like I wouldn't say any wide receiver, but like a lot of the better wide receivers, you put them with Patrick Mahomes, they're going to be in the top 5. They're going to be a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. You got him slinging the ball 50 times. That ball's going to you at least 20 times. You're gonna put up points.
Right. Your receivers though are crazy though. Devontae Adams and you said Debo, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah,
top
while I was in the parking lot, I actually got a trade request from Dexter. Dexter is the most stingy human being when it comes to these trades. He tries to fleece people like crazy.
Listen, I've been with Dexter a long time, man. I know Dexter's tricks. I know your tricks a little bit too. You're not as active though with the trades as years past.
That's how I get away with it too. Like I'm not like shoving trades down guys' throats. I'm just I fleece here, fleece there, sneak a couple of trades that are like pretty even.
So this is the trade. This is the trade. I would get D-Hop and Dameon Pierce for Debo. D-Hop's out for 6 weeks. That's already got me off the rocker. And Dameon Pierce, he's going to be the number 1. He's going to be RB1.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, you don't know. Like you don't know how much he's going to produce.
I mean, Texans just released Royce Freeman,
Marlon Mack,
45 minutes ago. They released Marlon Mack yesterday. I mean, running backs are leaving that crowded room. That leaves him and Rex Burkhead. And I think that's it. Right?
There's probably like one more guy mixed in there. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. It's probably some young guy or some journeyman that
some random. Yeah, I can't even think of who it would be off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So I mean, he is getting at least 20 touches a game in a Davis Mills led offense. no slander to you, but I mean, you're looking at a guy that's getting 20 touches a game. So what he can do with those 20 touches is left to be found out.
But and my thing is with Debo, you know exactly what you're going to put up points with Debo. Like it's a guarantee.
He plays. He's the wide back.
He's the wide back. Yep.
He plays. I know he doesn't like being called that, but he plays receiver. He plays running back. Like it's just he's developed so much of that offense to where he's all reliable. You know what I mean? Because Kittle can't stay on the field. I don't remember the last time he's finished a season. Yeah. It's been a while.
I don't.
Last couple of years he hasn't.
He's good for missing 3 or 4 games a season.
And Kittle's supposed to be that guy, that star on that San Francisco offense, but he just hasn't been able to be out there all the time. It's just so Debo has taken that mantle, and Debo. If you got Debo Samuel in your league, you're gonna be a pretty happy man.
I'm real interested to see how where Trey Lance is throwing to. I keep getting a lot of different tidbits over the last few weeks. I see that he's building a really good rapport with Brandon Ayuk in training camp. Does that mean Brandon Ayuk is going to get looked at more? Mm-hmm. Tight ends naturally for rookie year, first couple year quarterbacks, they tend to be a safety valve for them. Is George Kittle going to be getting a lot of targets? I mean, something like 10, 12 targets a game. Like that's not outside of the realm of possibility. Mm-hmm. Then of course Debo Samuel, who is your best offensive weapon, he's going to eat because he's going to get open. Yeah. And then you take a look at the running back situation. Elijah Mitchell's a good pass catcher in the backfield, so he's going to be a workhorse back if he can stay on the field, and you're getting a good pass catcher out of him. So Trey Lance is gonna have all these options. It's just who's gonna eat the most in that offense.
Yeah. Let's talk about last night we were here at Emerge. We participated in the Emerge first Emerge fantasy draft. Let's talk about it. Let's give it a recap. It was thank you to Mr. Morano for having us. We had basically most of the podcasts that are here at the studio. So we had us here at Big Yak, we had Tank Talk, we had Zach Squared, and we have Next of Kin as well. It was 8-man league. It was very, very, very interesting.
So I gotta jump in. I want to ask you. I'm not going to ask you guys because you guys. I'm in the draft with them. I'm in the league with them. So I'm going to give you my team. Okay. This is a guy. Just to be clear, I know nothing about football. Okay, I'm a soccer dude. Okay, so this is my team, and I'm not that upset about this team. I think I have a halfway decent team. I'm not going to beat Nico because he's he lives and breathes stuff. But can I beat Zach Squared? That's all I'm trying to do. So
I think you can.
I think my quarterback's Mahomes. I got Derrick Henry. I got Akers. I got Diggs. I got Pittman. Schultz, Williams, Packers on my defense, and Folk for my kicker. How do I look?
I mean, for someone who doesn't really know a whole lot about football, I like it.
You got a lot of big names on your team.
I like
it. Household names on your team.
I tried to spread it out, too, because I felt like if I went too heavy on one team and that team doesn't do what they're supposed to do. And I know fantasy's different because a player could be on a terrible team and still have a good year, but I'm just throwing it out because it's funny because now that I'm doing production work on all these podcasts and everybody talks about fantasy, I'm stealing from a little bit from
I know. He was pulling out some tidbits of info. I think it was either Dylan or Tank that mentioned it. Branto would come out and be like, this guy is going too early, or this guy's going too late in the draft. So he's been sitting here on my board. I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna pick him. Like pulling random things out. We're like, Branto, are you fleecing? Are you hustling us right now?
The only one that was a shot was I had to take an indie guy just to stick it to Tank. I had to take an indie guy just because I think I knew he wanted him, so I took him. But I could have been wrong. So
I think you got a good run at beating Zach Squared.
I just want to beat Zach Squared. I don't expect to beat anyone in experience. I just want to beat Zach Squared. Larry would be nice too because Larry's my former student, so I want to beat Larry.
Right. I'm against him week 1, so we'll see how that goes.
We'll find out. Thank you. Thanks for letting me chime in.
Yeah. So we had a fun time last night. A lot of trash talking. We had Nico.
So, we're gonna touch on this topic and then we're gonna move on from it forever. Okay. So I had quite possibly the worst slip of the tongue that might have been infamous because it's on a live podcast. I don't know how many viewers we had. I think I might have been one of the only ones watching from the table. But, it's etched somewhere in internet history. Okay. So I was going up against Dylan. We were talking. We were going back and forth. And what I meant to say was, come week 4, when I'm up against you, Dylan. And then what came out was, when I come on you, Dylan.
Nice.
And then I stopped and I realized what I said. And I'm like,
by that time we're like, hey, yo.
It was gone. It was over for me. I was silent for the rest of the day.
You shouldn't have stopped. You should have just rolled with it. You should have just pressed through it.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it, but you should have just rolled through it and just act like it never happened.
The pause is what got you.
Yeah,
we all like sat there,
and
we all
like,
looked at you like.
And I knew what I said, and I'm like, well, now I'm too deep in, so I'm like, yeah, pause.
Yeah, once you stop, that's when you gave somebody
hey, yo.
Dude, I did. You literally were just like, Dylan, I'm gonna come on you, and I'm like sitting here, and I'm like,
I might have left.
yeah,
I might have
there
just
were
got up
literal
and said,
tears
"Good
in
night,
my
everybody. Take care."
yeah. Oh, that was.
Are you making a reel with that? Did you make a reel?
We gotta make a reel with that, man. We gotta. I know you want to move on from it, man, but at least.
No, I gotta take that L. I gotta wear it on my chest because that
show it off, dude.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna flex it.
Oh my god.
Dude, that's funny.
Yeah, but me and Nico dressed up. We had suits on. I looked. I don't know.
It's so funny. I was saying this to Molly afterwards. I was like, okay, so we're going to Miami for the Bills game, and I was just picking out like random things to put together. Like I want to look like a GM, but I want to look like a cool GM. So I had my black suit jacket and my black dress pants on, and I'm like, I need a fun shirt underneath. So I have this like Hawaiian tropical t-shirt, and I put it on. I'm like, I wore this outfit as a joke, but now I think I'm actually going to wear it to Miami.
You look good, dude. Hey man,
Yeah.
y'all were dressed to the nines for the last night. That was great.
We dressed like our team.
Yeah.
I
dressed for success.
Yeah, dude. I had a cataract football little helmet on, dude. I'm sitting here just like, I'm ready. Like, oh, I did not look.
Hey,
like
you
I
had
was
the
okay.
weekend suit on.
I had the weekend suit on, dude. That suit has a lot of memories because when I wore that suit, I was very, very drunk to say the least. Like I was passed out in somebody's side of somebody's garage, pretty sure. Just like leaned up against the garage, like not doing well. Yeah. So that suit, when I put it on, it also was like very big on me. To be, I was like, oh, this is weird. But then yeah, I very, very, very rough night that night, and yeah. But I got carried away. But yeah, I had a really good night for the draft last night, and me and Nico are gonna bring home that trophy. It's not here anymore. They took it away.
It's like when the Lombardi like goes around. Like now it's hiding until the season's over.
Yeah, so it's gonna be into hiding, but it's gonna come home. It's gonna come home. The Big Yak podcast. We said it before.
You know what? Every episode we're gonna have it aired up, like just hung up somewhere.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be one of our props.
I already got Tank sending me trades too. I don't know if he sent you guys, if he sent you
in the merge league.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I got a trade proposal. He wants to take Debo off my hands for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Miles Sanders.
No.
I'm leaving that
No.
in my
Absolutely
leaving that in my inbox. I'm not even
Crazy.
accepting or
He's
denying it.
crazy.
He can live with seeing that
He's
forever.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders, he's crazy.
Oh. I've talked about Miles Sanders a lot these last
Mike
2 weeks, man.
hates
I
Miles
hate
Sanders.
Miles
It's
Sanders.
not even like slanderous. Like I
hate
think there's actual like
There's like a
poison.
I think
in
Mike
it.
had him probably a couple years ago, and he just.
No, I know that's what it was.
That's what it was?
I had him, and I literally he was like my RB. He ended up being my RB1 because somebody got hurt. I forgot who got hurt, so he ended up emerging as my RB1, and it was just so bad.
I mean, I think. Yeah.
Oh, just bad. Let's recap some of our other drafts. Me and Nico had 6 drafts this past week.
So we had, I think 6. I think I'm in 6 now.
I'm in 8 as a total.
8?
I'm in
okay.
8.
So I've been catching a lot of heat from my family because they're like, "Ooh, how are you maintaining all these leagues? I think you're getting a little obsessive." I'm like, guys, 6 is not anything crazy. To the average casual person, you're like, holy shit, you're in 6 leagues.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, you're in 8. I think our friend Austin's at 11. He's
Austin's
mentioned
in
the word
double
11
digits.
to me.
Dude, I can
so
barely keep up with. I'm in 3. I can barely keep up with it.
Yeah, dude, I'm in 8. This is breaking records for me because I'm usually the 4 to 5 range the last couple of years.
Over this past week, I put together a dynasty league. We're in the middle of our starter draft. Actually, Mike, you're on the clock. So while I'm going into this, you can go ahead and make your pick.
Yeah, I might as well make a live pick right now.
So I decided to put together a dynasty league. It's not anything that I've ever done before. So this is I bullied Mike into doing it. I'm like, think about all the content that we can have if you join this league. We can talk about it. This can be a mainstay, and we can finally talk dynasty fantasy football because that's a subject in fantasy that we haven't even touched yet. Mm-hmm. So we are currently 14 rounds in of a 29-round startup draft. So
pain because there's just nobody. I'm looking at this board right now, and there's nobody there.
It's a super flex league. Meaning, for anyone that doesn't know what a super flex is, you can use a quarterback in your flex spot. So quarterbacks on average are going to give you much more points than any other player. Mm-hmm. So, it's makes the most sense to have a quarterback in your super flex spot at all times. Yeah. So essentially it's a 2 QB league without it being an exact 2 QB league. And it's a tight end premium league. So you get 1.5 points per reception for tight ends. Gives them a little bit more value, allows you to let them play in their flex spots. No kickers, no defenses. It's a fun. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. We're still in the startup draft. We haven't even done rookies. I split up the startup and the rookie.
Yeah.
So after this round's over, if it ever ends, I mean we're 14 rounds in. We're not even at the halfway point yet. We're just before the halfway point. Then we'll go into a 5-round rookie draft. Yeah. So 34 players.
I just made my selection. With the 14th pick, or the third pick in the 14th round, I'm selecting Patriots tight end Hunter Henry as my second tight end.
I get to announce this pick because I've been looking at this guy for a while now.
Nico is on the clock.
And I am going to take my guy, Nico Collins.
Nico Collins, Nico for Nico. Let's go.
Second-year wide receiver out of the Houston Texans. Now, this brings up, there are some sleepers that this league really shows you, who's a sleeper, who's not. I mean, who are the deep sleepers? Who are the...
Look at that. So many spots
just
from
keeps
14
going.
rounds
in. So Nico Collins is a wide receiver out of Houston who, didn't have a really flashy rookie year. But what's unique about his situation is Davis Mills is starting to put it together. He's been spending extra time with Nico Collins in the offseason, building chemistry, doing extra workouts. He's a guy I really like going into this round. In Dynasty, stash him on your taxi squad if your league allows second-year players onto the squad. But he's poised for a breakout year. I mean, you got Brandon Cooks as the only other reliable receiver in that offense. Davis Mills might throw the ball a little bit more. We don't know.
Davis Mills the GOAT.
When I'm sitting here in round 14, I think it's safe to grab some of these late-round flyers.
Yeah. Let's recap a little bit of our other drafts. We did Jules' draft. We talk about Jules' draft every week. I mean, that league.
Yes. Oh my goodness, we haven't had an episode since Jules' draft, right?
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of stuff has happened in the last couple of days. But Jules' draft was cool. We talked about how we went to the Anchor Bar. It's tradition. It's a real. The vibes are great. Had wings. Anchor Bar is solid, but it doesn't compare to other wing places in Buffalo. Yeah. But, it was a really fun league. I actually thought I drafted pretty good. There's a couple of guys who are able – my running backs are pretty good. Let me just pull them up real quick just to kind of gauge. I ended up getting Najee Harris with the 7th pick. I think I talked about that.
That storyline can finally
that storyline can finally rest because I got the guy who I passed up on as my keeper. I got Chase Edmonds, too, who I think he's RB1 in Miami. We still figuring out Tua.
He's already familiar with Mike McDaniel and how a Mike McDaniel offense runs. Mm-hmm. You got Raheem Mostert still there in Miami again, so it'll be interesting to see how they are both in the city of vice.
Right. I also picked up Breece Hall, who is going to be the Jets' premier rookie running back. He's supposed to start week 1, but it might be a little bit more Michael Carter before we get to Breece Hall. Got Cordell Patterson, who last year was fantasy god, number 9 running back at the age of 30. And then, I picked up other guys like Mike Williams. I had Josh Allen as my keeper. Can't go wrong with that. And then I picked up former Heisman guy Devontae Smith. I mean, it's a decent draft. It's definitely not going to be a draft first couple of weeks. It's going to wow you on paper. But I think by midway, it's going to take off.
So I didn't realize at the time, but I've been drafting Kittle in a lot of my leagues.
Yeah.
And, like we talked about, I just hope that he stays on the field and is looked at as Trey Lance's safety valve. So, in my draft here, Cooper Kupp was my keeper. He was my 3rd-round keeper, so I only spent a 3rd-round pick on him, which was great. Javonte Williams was my 2nd-round pick, who I'm really excited about because he has the potential to be a league winner this year. I mean, if Melvin Gordon gets hurt or gets traded or whatever happens with him, he is. I mean, he's RB1. I mean, top 3 running back in the league in fantasy points per game. Going down the line again, I really love Juju Smith-Schuster this year, and I picked him up in this draft. Kyler Murray is a go-to fantasy quarterback for me.
Mm-hmm.
In the 7th round, I was able to snag Dameon Pierce. As soon as I picked him, I just remember this draft was live, so the entire table was yelling and hooting
and hollering.
Grabbed myself Dameon Pierce, and it looks so much better now that Marlon Mack's gone, now that Royce Freeman's gone. Who else did I grab? I grabbed Tyler Boyd, and a couple of deep sleepers that I like in redraft is Jacoby Myers. That was Mac Jones' favorite target last year. He's getting drafted around like the 140 range in EDP, and he deserves. I think he's going to finish a top 100 player. So picked him up, grabbed great value out of him, and Josh Palmer, receiver out of the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, wide receiver number 3. Yeah.
Wide receiver number 3. So if Keenan Allen or Mike Williams miss any time, Josh Palmer is going to be a great waiver wire addition. I said, why not snag him in the 14th round?
Yeah. A lot of fantasy drafts from this past week. What would you guys say would be, before we head on to our next segment, what would be some guys who you think were reached on, in some of the fantasy drafts that, we've all came across? A guy who...
Look at this draft, because there was the league that... Dexter's League, I feel like some people might have reached a little bit on some stuff, but I'm not too sure.
In that league, we had some negative reach. We had Scott.
Oh, dude, poor Scott, man. Dude, Scott didn't know anything about the the whole quarterback situation. So
the format.
It's a
so
heavy QB bonus.
I don't think he didn't take a quarterback for the first, because quarterbacks were flying off the board the first 2 rounds. And then it gets to round 4, and then I remember in the chat, Scott was like, "Is there some QB bonus or something that I don't know about?"
He said, "Y'all are taking QBs way too early."
Because there's no one left anymore, and everyone's like, yeah, sorry, dude."
He ended up grabbing Mac Jones in the 9th round and Jared Goff in the 11th
Oh,
round.
Lord have mercy,
guy.
dude.
Poor guy.
I feel for you. That sounds horrible. No offense, Scott, but that sounds like a bad time. That sounds like a bad time.
My favorite reach in all of my fantasy drafts this year, going back to Joel's draft.
Oh my God.
So my boy Gabe, I love my man Gabe. I mean, we go back to the tennis days. He's great, and every year he brings a really competitive team. There's no doubt about that. We've gone back and forth over the years in our matchups, but he grabbed Rondale Moore in the 5th round.
5th round.
I think Rondale Moore's on my bench. I didn't grab him till
I said to him during the draft, I was like,
11th.
I was like, buddy, you could have grabbed him in the 12th round.
Yeah.
And no one would have thought about.
No one would have blinked.
Yeah, dude. When he did that, I'm sitting here. I'm like, yo, did you mean that? I looked at him. I'm like, did you mean to pick that? I'm sitting here. I'm like, you cannot be serious right now. And I love Gabe, but fuck him.
He knows something that we don't.
He does.
I mean, players drafted around him, in Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert was a keeper. Jalen Hurts, Deontay Johnson, Marquise Brown, his running mate, and undisputed number 1 until DeAndre Hopkins comes back. Brandon Cooks, Allen Robinson, Michael Thomas, Kareem Hunt.
Who were some of the picks directly after that? After the Rondale Moore.
The pick right before Rondale Moore was Marquise Brown. And the pick right after was Brandon Cooks.
Jeez, you literally had so many better.
So many options.
So many
good options.
So many really good options.
Yeah, that was bad. He did another reach
Juju
too.
was just sitting there. Juju fell to me in that round.
Oh, he still wasn't off the board yet?
Yeah.
Oh no.
He reached on somebody else too, right? There's another guy.
He went next round. He went Hunter Renfrow, which I'm gonna call that a reach. You can argue against that one.
He's an 8th round guy. He's probably 2 rounds earlier. There's another guy I know for sure on there.
The other one, and I think Poncho in our other league, in the Wegmans League, did this too. So father, like son.
Like father, like son.
Gabe grabbed Jamal Williams in the 9th round. Not
That's
Jameson
who it
Williams.
was. That's who it was.
Jamal Williams in the 9th round. And then in the Wegmans League, we went back over, and I think Poncho grabbed him. This is a 10-man league, too.
Mm-hmm.
Grabbed him, I think, like the 7th round.
That's disgusting. That is literally disgusting.
Jamal Williams, not Jamison Williams, where you can make an argument for or against, which I don't think he's going to have a big play this season. But Jamal Williams.
Jesus.
Yeah. No offense to Gabe and Gabe, but like, what was going on there, man?
They must have been
That's
texting each other
bad.
like, "Oh, Jamal Williams, you're gonna want to grab him."
Jamal Williams is barely even getting drafted, and you're drafting him. What? Almost like not even. We're not even at the 10th round yet.
So players around.
Oh my God, man! I'm just
Players
like
around
you're
Jamal
making donations
Williams.
at that point, man.
The pick right after him was Melvin Gordon. The pick after that was Robert Woods, Matt Stafford,
Bob
Dawson
Trees, man.
Knox,
Bob Trees.
Aaron Rodgers is getting drafted this round. There are no words.
There's no justification for that.
There's not. Wait,
Yeah.
you said Aaron Rodgers went in that later in that round?
Yeah.
Did he have a quarterback yet? Oh yeah.
Yeah, he
Justin
liked
Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Okay.
So okay, you don't take a quarterback, cool. But Dawson Knox, he's got my
Robert
he got Morgan.
Woods. I'd take Melvin Gordon out over him. Melvin Gordon is gonna get him his touches, but Jamal Williams, man.
Robert Woods is going to get many more points than Jamal Williams this season.
But yeah, again, no offense, you guys, but like
That's funny.
What?
I think okay. I'm taking a look at the board, and I can kind of see. Now this is going to be a stretch. This is going to be a stretch.
Reaching.
So there was a run on backup running backs in the 8th round to 9th round term.
Okay.
So James Robinson was drafted at the end of the 8th round, which best handcuff for Travis Etienne. Right after that, Alexander Madison was taken. So it's like, okay, maybe he realized, okay, now Travis Etienne's handcuff just got drafted. Dalvin Cook's handcuff just got drafted. Who was it? Yeah, DeAndre Swift went number 4 overall, which was a really fun pick. I think that's awesome. That was exciting to see. But maybe his thought process was, hey, all of these backup running backs are going. If DeAndre Swift gets hurt, maybe he's a top 10 back.
Yeah.
I don't know. He played well when DeAndre Swift was hurt last year. But Gabe, we just need an answer. We just need an answer. I need to know the thought process.
Rondell
What
Moore.
do you know that we don't know?
The Rondell Moore one was real bad, man. Like I just can't. Like, okay, you justify the Jamal Williams one a little bit, but like,
Rondell Moore, you can't.
You can't justify that,
can't
man.
justify that.
You can't.
I just drafted Rondell Moore in the 12th round of our dynasty
That's what I'm
draft.
saying, man. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, that's all we got for fantasy. Let's take a little bit of a recap of this past preseason. Had a very eventful Bills last week. Bills lost to Carolina, got shut out. Didn't really like how some of the guys looked, but I think a lot of it had to do with the whole Matt Araiza thing. And I don't really want to go too deep into it because it's we talked about Deshaun Watson before. It's a sensitive topic, but it's just I think a lot of those players, the whole organization was just like that was on their minds. I think that game because you don't have a punter that game. You had Matt Barkley.
Shout out to Matt Barkley.
Shout out Matt Barkley.
He coffin cornered one of them.
Coffin corner, 53-yard bomb, coffin corner inside the 10.
Yeah,
dude. Get him off the practice squad. Sign him up.
Put him in the tryouts.
Get
Line him up right next to
let's
Sam
go.
Martin and Brett Kern.
Let him do it. Just let him do it.
Yeah.
We're not punting that much anyway this year anyway.
That's fair.
That's the point. It's just oh my god, man! Like the first punt was bad though. The first punt was
terrible.
First punt I'm like nope. Second punt though was with the coffin corner one. I was like,
good.
all right,
That was
that was
You
good.
got it.
That was a fun thing to watch. That was funny.
The only thing I'll say about the Matt Araiza thing is I wish because they've been known. We don't know how much the Bills knew at that point in time. But if they knew about these allegations and the severity of these allegations back in the end of July, they should have just cut them like right then and there, back ahead of schedule. Why for something as heinous as that? It's almost you can't even give them the benefit of the doubt.
You can't. There's no way that he or his family or his lawyer could spin it to make it seem okay.
Yeah.
No matter what way you look at it, she's 17.
She was 17. He's 21.
He's
In a
senior in
pretext call,
college.
he told her to get tested for STDs.
Like you cannot spin that.
No.
He's a terrible human being.
And
I don't like. I'm glad he's gone. Like I'm like
Right.
if they knew about it earlier, they should have had him all gone sooner.
Yeah.
That's not something that needs to be around the team. But
I do think just like a little bit. it was just handled horribly by everybody going into like the whole draft process and everything. Because what I heard was like San Diego State knew about it.
Yeah,
they just didn't really.
Yeah,
they didn't really
because
act
their
on
football
it.
team was doing well. They covered it up.
Yeah, and then once Matt Ryan wins the draft job, and that's when it brings upon him. I mean, it sucks. It does suck, but I mean, we had to cut him. There's no way you can
the
let
Bills
him slide.
With this season. I mean, this is the winner take all type season for the Buffalo Bills. This is the year they go for it all, and they already have that national media attention around them.
They don't need anything else.
You don't need any other distraction for a 6th round rookie punter.
Yeah.
I promise you, after cutdowns, as we are seeing, that there will be enough punters available for you to grab for a team that I think punts the least amount in the league.
Yeah. The only thing I have concern about is we're about a week away from kickoff. We don't have a punter, and we're sitting here with. You need a guy to hold kicks for Tyler Bass. That's the only thing I have.
I'm not even concerned about the punting because the defense is good enough where if we shank a couple punts, that the defense can make up for it.
Yeah.
But you need a guy that has that chemistry with Reed Ferguson, has that chemistry with Tyler Bass.
Do we know who's been like? Do we know who's been?
So
holding?
I think did Case Keenum hold that last game?
It was Case Keenum, and then Barkley was the punter.
Back I don't know when this switch happened, but it was always the backup quarterback that held.
And then the more recent years have been the punter going out there and doing
exactly. I wouldn't be surprised to see Case Keenum holding for the first game against the Rams just because of the punter situation. There's not enough time to build chemistry with your kicker.
Right.
So I fully expect to see Case Keenum holding next week, but.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's basically all I have for today for you guys. What's next for you, Jackson? Before we shut off.
I mean, I got 10 more months left in the Navy, and then I'm thinking about coming back here, doing some certs on like online certifications to get into the IT world, cybersecurity stuff like that.
You mentioned that you were running the TV station on the aircraft carrier. Are you still doing that right now?
So it's not like running we don't really have like a TV station or so. We have a TV studio. So my job broadcasts like all we have the racks that take in the signal and we send it out. So we're the distribution of it. We distribute TV and all that stuff out to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like just one little sliver of what I do. On top of that, I work on alarms, I work on announcing systems, sound power telephones, and regular.
Jeez, do you do any
phones.
camera installations? Someone might be giving you a call.
Come work from Randall Media when he gets back. That's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah. But thank you for coming on the show, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate everything that you do for this country.
Oh,
yes, I got one more question too. Do you get sick of hearing "thank you for your service"?
it's not so. I don't get sick of it. It's just I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say because if I say, "Oh, thank you," like I feel like I sound like an asshole. I feel like I sound like a dick.
So during the pandemic, especially when it first started, we were working at Wegmans, and a lot of times customers would like thank us for working during all this. So like I got a little like the sliver of a taste of what it's like to be thanked for working.
It's cringy. It's cringy.
Yeah. So obviously, me working at a grocery store during the pandemic is one thing.
Yeah.
But in you serving our country is a different one. But the getting thanked for you just doing what you do for a living.
It's so weird. It's always like when I'm least expecting it to. Like I'll like be having my head down. I'll just walk to my car and like I'm just trying to get out of a place I'm in as fast as possible because I went somewhere after work, so I'm in my uniform. And I don't like being.
What's the uniform procedure? Do you have to wear it at certain times or?
So the only time I wear my uniform is when I'm at work. I don't wear it outside of work because like you have your working uniforms, which is like the camo stuff. You can wear that going to and from work, but you can't like just like go get a drink in that or anything like that. Like our dress uniforms, you can put those on and like go and like get trashed in those and they won't say anything.
You know, because we have an Air Force base right by us, so you're in Wegmans all the time, and they move as a unit at the Air Force.
They're squatted up, yeah.
And they're like 20 people deep, all in uniform. Mm-hmm. So I was curious as to like what are the regulations?
I mean, if it's like is it like usually like if it's during like the day, they're probably
I think
out
it's
for
a lunch break or
something. Yeah, they're probably
like
on lunch, and then they can't change because they're at work, so they're just gonna run over to wherever they can.
Interesting.
All right. That's all I got. This is episode 10. You know, can't wait for the next another 10 episodes. Got a lot coming.
Double digits.
Double digits. Woo! We got the football season coming up, next week, and that's when this show is going to blossom.
Buy stock now.
I'm predicting it right now.
Invest now
Buy
in this
stock.
show because we're taking this thing to the moon.
Hammer the stock.
Hammer the stock. Go big on Big Yak. Go big on Big Yak. Invest on the Big Yak.
Buy low, sell high.
Buy
low, sell high.
Yes,
we got a lot of content coming. We got some merch coming too. We've been telling you guys about this for a while now, but we're really gonna start cracking down on it. A lot more content.
Big Yak merch
Big
coming
Yak
soon.
merch.
We got some ideas in the
can't
making.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have some shoots too, so it's gonna look good. We're gonna make some prototypes, I think, before we get going, and then we'll see how they do, and then we'll have a big release.
Well, you can put me down for some. I'll buy some. I got you guys.
Appreciate you,
So
boss.
please spread it on the aircraft.
I'll rep it on the air.
We're gonna have a whole we're gonna get some viewership out in the Philippines, and this is like a viewership spike of merch and and views out there.
Yeah. But I just want to thank you Jackson for coming on. Thank you Maranto as well. Thank you Emerge. Thank you Matt Johnson, BICBP Network. And until next time, see you guys later.